Morning all, how are we doing? Right, let's get that volume down just a touch, shall we? There we go, that's better. How are you all doing? Danish? Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Anyone's more than welcome to join. It's not a problem. Oh, right, what's going on? Let's have a look outside. There's a Dreamliner currently engulfing a static aircraft. But that's alright. Don't worry about that. That's all good. Morning, Flair. Yeah, we're probably looking at pushing back in about 25 minutes, so we should be all good. That's all good. Right. So we're back in the bus. A plane that I haven't been in quite a while. We did a live stream the other night where I did some landing practices in it. And I was quickly reminded how bad I've gotten in it, which is fine. So we'll try and get a bit better at that today. That's kind of the whole goal, really. So let's get things started off. No flight plan found. Oh, God, here we go. Here we go. Hold the line a minute. I just need to quickly put in my SimBrief username, because otherwise it's going to yell at me. Just a sec. There we go. Hopefully that'll work. Hey, there we go. Right, now let me get the screen back on. Happy days. There we go. So, Bristol down to Nantes in France. Got a funny feeling I'm not pronouncing Nantes properly, but I don't know how to pronounce it, so that's what we're going with today. Sorry to any natives of France that I'm offending. Right, let's get our weights sorted. So you can see we've got our planned weights in terms of fuel, in terms of cargo. So this is what I do love about the Phoenix, actually. You click load aircraft and just click GSX. Are we going to have enough time to do that? 27 minutes to do it in real time. Oh, yeah, okay, fine.
Refueling truck is on its way. Boarding request. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
Never flown to Warsaw, I don't believe. No. Don't believe I have. Yeah, they will come. Still, it will give us a minute to get things ready. Oh no, Wasp. You've managed to find yourself in the vertical stream, I see. So yeah, we're also streaming in vertical today. And we're also streaming normally, and we're also streaming on Twitch. So we're streaming to all the places. We'll see how that goes. Not entirely convinced by it, if I'm being completely honest. But
Passengers bus is coming.
We might as well give it a go. Okay, what's going on up here? So we're just running on batteries and external power at the moment.
Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and ask to do it.
In the normal stream. I feel like YouTube need to sort that, to be honest. That whole thing that's going on. So ATSU, AOC, init data request, there we go. Like riding a bike. Need to load up SPAD.
Please use your airplane fuel system to set the desired fuel quantity.
And init request.
Passengers boarding starting.
Cheers, Blair. Appreciate it. Okay, our flight number will go with X-Ray November Oscar 121. SimBrief has got us at a cost index of 31. A cruising altitude at flight level 330, believe it or not. That's okay. No. Probably can't do this bit, can we? Because it's still doing it. So fuel is fueling, passengers are passengering, and cargo is doing nothing. I would fly in Bristol, but there's no ATC. Yeah, that's sometimes I go, especially this time of day. This time of day, it's a bit, it is what it is, really. Right, what is the local pressure? Let's get the charts up so you can see. Well, those of you on the mainstream can see. Let's unload the last flight. Import this one. Okay, Exmoor 1 Zulu departure. Then ILS 03. What would Knighton give us? Okay, so that's like a teardrop over the airfield job, isn't it? Yeah, that could work.
Passengers bus is coming.
Work. Hey Adam, how you doing? Nice to be flying this time of day as well. Obviously school holidays at the minute, so my schedule was just always it's completely out the window. Like my my normal thing just isn't a normal thing anymore. Like it's just school holidays. But luckily my wife is running the fort this morning. Arranged a play date, so I'm free to sit in my shed and do this. Which I'm only too happy to do. Do we fly the 777? Yeah, we do. We do. We have it. We've done some flights in it. It's just I didn't want to overdo it on the 777. Last stream we were back in the 737 and a couple of people actually said it's actually really nice to see the 737 back. Which made me think maybe we need to do a bit more bus as well. Yeah, 738 is probably my favourite aircraft. Just the way it feels to fly, the way it keeps you busy. By comparison, I do like the bus, don't get me wrong. But by comparison, it does feel a little bit like you're flying a robot. Right, what is the weather doing? We're at Bristol. Let's have a look. QNH is 1015. Yeah, she's a keeper, Adam. Alright, let's have a quick look at the route. So, Bristol out on 09, do a bit of a U-turn, then head out to the Exmoor waypoint, then we sort of head kind of across Devon / Somerset, I guess, out towards Jersey. Is that near St Malo? Yes, I think it is. Yeah, we're going to go right over St Malo, near enough, which I think is a ferry route, isn't it? St Malo. Then wiggle our way down to the airfield, and then we head on out. Kind of doing a bit of a teardrop. Then back into the ILS. Only got one ILS, I think, this airport. And then we're good. Straight into Nantes. As for where we park, I guess we'll probably come off either at Echo or maybe we'll go all the way to Foxtrot. I can't see it going all the way though. Yeah. Fine. It's again quite a nice small airport really, so there's not much to get wrong when we get there though. You never know. I forgot to do my navs. 1, 2 and 3. There we go. Get those going. Right, Mayday, how you doing? Mayday's in the vertical stream. I don't really know if people are actually going to like the vertical stream. But it's there. So, I don't know what to tell you. Hey, look at that. The TUI has been released from the grip of the Dreamliner. And there's Wasp over there in the Air Not livery. Oh. I've got the doors open. How are the passengers getting through? Oh, look at that. Ah, dearie me. There you go, we'll open the doors for them, sure. What about cargo? Oh, cargo. See, GSX has done it themselves for the cargo. Or the freight, I should say. Look at that TUI, looks surrounded by Air Not. Oh, right, sorry, see there's a couple of things in chat that I haven't addressed. I'm new to flight simming and only have learned to fly the A320 fly-by-wire. I'm interested in learning the 737. Do you think it's harder to learn or fly? It's not hard once you know what you're doing, but I found it very hard to start with. If you scroll all the way back, and I mean all the way back, we're talking a long time ago now, to like my first flight on stream with the 737, like, it was basically the chat that got me through it because I was like flying it, being like, oh, I don't know what to do, and then the chat would be like, click that, and I'd click that, and it would work. So once you know where the buttons are, it's okay, you know? Yeah, it's just a case of figuring it out. Once you know it, it's like second nature. It's like second nature, and I really do enjoy flying it with the yoke. That's why I always look forward to flying the 737, because I know I can fly it with the yoke, so I get to use my yoke without guilt. Because like, if I flew this with the yoke, I'd feel like I'm doing it wrong. So there you go. Hey King Gamer, you alright? Is the Navigraph subscription worth it? I don't know about you, but I'd appreciate it more if they released a one-time purchase. I don't think they can do it that way because they themselves, I believe, are licensing data. Blimey. Here's the dream. The sounds were a bit dodgy, weren't they? Yeah, so I think they can't do a one-time subscription buzz, because a one-time payment, because I think they're licensing all the chart data from, is it Jefferson? So if they did everyone a one-time purchase, fast forward enough time, they'd be out of pocket quite significantly. It's a very good service though, so I don't mind paying for it at all. Morning, Matthew. King Gamer says, how do you make it so you see the people? That's an add-on called GSX. I want to go from a 1660 Super to a 3070. Is that a good upgrade? Yeah, I mean, I ran a 3070 on here for a long time. I think for a 1080p card in Flight Sim. You shouldn't have any problem. I think for the most part I was CPU limited anyway with my 5600X. I would not recommend it for 4K. But yeah, 1080, maybe 1440. Oh, you saw the lossless scaler? Yeah, it's crazy that, isn't it? Like a fiver. Like, I know it's not perfect. I know it's got its shortcomings. Like, everything in tech is a trade-off anyway, so it's like, I don't begrudge it at all. And, yeah, you consider that, you know, frame gen you know, it was kind of like an NVIDIA 4000 series thing, wasn't it? And you know, like a fiver basically gets you most of the way there. It's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible indeed. 5 minutes till IR line. Ugh. How are we doing for loading up? Halfway on the passengers, halfway on the cargo. Fuel is done. Morning, Lanky. How you doing? Alright, so Bristol, we're going to depart on runway 09, X-More 1 Zulu, insert that. As for Nantes, we're going to go on the ILS Y03, on go to 1 Charlie. The Nightum. Insert. Happy days. I mean, with VATSIM, you're probably going to be CPU limited. What I would recommend you do is enable the developer mode in the options of the sim. Then come up, you get this top menu bar, go to debug, display FPS, and it will tell you which component you're currently limited by. It says here limited by main thread for me at the moment, which means my processor is the limiting factor, not my GPU. That will really help you understand, because you might end up spending loads on the GPU, and it'll make no difference if your CPU is already the problem. So do that first. Is the Phoenix 320 worth it over the fly-by-wire? Yes, I'd probably say it is, because you get the CFM engines, the IAE engines, and pretty much everything just works. It's a very, very solid airliner. Now, if you haven't got the money for the Phoenix, and for a long period of time I didn't, you know, the channel wasn't making any money, the fly-by-wire is a really nice place to be without having to spend any money. So I would think of it through that lens if I were you. Alright, should we do our perf? Now we can just send this straight to the MCDU, can't we? I love that. Look at that, straight in there, no mucking about. Flaps 3 for takeoff, that seems a bit extreme. Okay. I guess. Let's brief the departure. Yes, Matthew, I have. We did a stream in it to... Where did we go? Belfast, I think. I had a bug where it wouldn't accept the radio navigation for the ILS, so I had to do a bit of an impromptu go around. Oh, Pascal, thank you, man. Thank you for the 5. In the YouTube vertical stream, I hasten to add. Thank you very much indeed for the support. I do appreciate it. 5 CHF. I've got to be honest, I don't mean to sound rude. I don't know what CHF is, but I appreciate the support regardless of the amount and whatever it is. I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much indeed. Morning, Cow Shark. Alright, so we've got 6,000 feet out of Bristol, as we thought. That's fine. I don't know why it's gone for 3. That is a bit weird, isn't it? Give flaps 1. Tempted to leave it just to see what it's like. I'm curious now. Might just leave it alone. Okay, we got our navs. We're getting there now. Probably going to get a fine from New Sky. 50 more people. I'm at gate 25 Danish, I believe. Alright. Crew supply on, emergency lights, arm, no smoking, auto. Get our navs to 1. Strobes to auto. Let's get the fuel pumps on. APU master switch on. Give it a few seconds just in case any faults decide to ping up at us. And APU start. There we go. Look at that poor Tui, look. Surrounded by us. Like a rose between two thorns. Now, another thing I love about the GSX integration with the Phoenix is that I can just flick on the beacon light and it will do us a pushback. Very, very cool. I love it. Right, what am I forgetting? Because I haven't done this in a while. That's all good, that's all good, that's all good, that's all good. Just waiting for APU to become available. Just make sure that our throttles are all good. Let's get 6,000 in the window. And it won't be long, we'll be ready to go. Oh, you've crashed again, Wasp? No way. What on earth could that be? I would seriously consider losing GSX and just see if that does it. What were you doing? Was there anything you were doing at the time? You're right, Skypoint. Skydiver, what New Sky is you can set up your own airlines on it, which I've done. And you set routes and you lease aircraft and put the aircraft at various bases and then people fly them around. And it kind of earns money for the VA then just loading passengers with GSX. Yeah. I would be tempted to lose GSX, Wasp, and give it another go. Give it another go. Oh, Mika with a 5. Thank you, my friend. What throttle are you using right now? I've got the Thrustmaster Boeing. What would work with the Phoenix? Love the content. Thanks very much. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me turn on yoke cam. Here we go. So I'm using... This is kind of my setup. I've got my Airbus stick over here, which I'll be using today. I've got my Boeing yoke in the middle, which I use for non-Airbusy stuff. And I've got the Airbus throttles. People give me so much like flack on social media, like TikTok especially, and it just triggers people like you wouldn't believe. Like most videos I put up like a short of my landing or whatever, and almost every time there's someone that's like, bro is using an Airbus throttle with a Boeing yoke with like the little skulls or whatever. Every time I say to them, yeah, but it works really, really well because obviously it works great with the Airbus, of course it does, it's the Airbus throttles, but it also is really good at going between other different aircraft. What you might want to check out, Mika, is my latest video where I show you how to use spad.next, which is a program that kind of has lots of profiles built into it that can control this in much more detail. So you remove all of your bindings from the sim in the control settings, so it effectively makes it useless, like you move your throttles and nothing happens. And then spad.next handles it all. But then people that are much smarter than me have made these incredible profiles that make it work. So like all the different switches work with the Boeing, whereas before I couldn't get them to work. All I could do was get the throttles to move. So I'd really recommend you check that out. But I think this is a really, really, really solid option as a go-between. Like, yes, I know it's got Airbus written all over it, and I get that it's blue, like the Airbus. And I get that it doesn't match the Boeing yoke, but in terms of usability on a daily basis, like this is the way, in my opinion. The only thing that could tempt me is if, I don't know, Thrustmaster or someone ever made like a full-on motorized Boeing yoke. Not Boeing yoke, throttles. Because you know, like when you're in autopilot on Boeings, like you see the throttles just kind of moving themselves, like up and down as they're moving around. That is the only thing that could tempt me away from this. Because if you think about it, you can have motors, aren't you, that move the throttles up and down. And then with those same motors, you could create resistance points, I should say, to create the climb gates that we currently enjoy with the Airbus. That's the only thing that could tempt me away from it. But as far as I know, no one is making that, so that's just my 2 cents for what it's worth. Alright, we're looking good. AP bleed on, fuel pumps are on. Definitely forgetting something because I haven't done this in ages, but that's okay. That's okay. Let's get this strapped in. Aircraft is loaded. Thank you very much. We just need to fill in our final init page B. Center MCDU. There it is. Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, it's time to get pushed back, I do believe. So, if we turn on our beacon... There we go. You see GSX has taken over. ASB 2008. Just came home from school, you flying the Phoenix? Yes, I am.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Yeah, Matthew, I don't get it either, but you know, people on social media love to have an opinion on everything, don't they? And people on TikTok in general, they do tend to know everything as well, so just keep that in mind.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Oh no, don't say that, Rob. Yeah, we're in the Phoenix this morning with the IAE engines. Right. I'm praying it is well, because I've done a whole load of work on my stream settings and I'm kind of like, fingers crossed that it all works today, because last time it didn't. We'll just step through the route real quick. That looks fine. Alright, now move around there. So we want tail to the right, nose to the left. We are of course on Unicom, that's good. Bristol traffic, air not 121, stand 25, pushing back and facing west, Bristol traffic.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
VATSIM, is that you? Right, let's get the engines into ignition. I had a funny feeling it was you. How you doing? Engine 2 start. What is going on? Oh my days.
Please set parking brakes.
Yeah, will do.
Waiting your
Thanks,
confirmation
GSX.
for a good engine start.
Crikey. Right, how are we looking over here? You just love GSX sometimes. Let's start engine number 1, I should say. On events. I had an issue with GSX the other day at Manchester. They told me to push and paste east. I selected nose, left, tail, right. And it said it decided to do a straight pushback. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I do wonder, should I just uninstall it? Maybe I should try that that paid version of the pushback toolbar thing where you just draw a line on the map and it just does that, because I don't know. Right, let's tell GSX to go away, because I've had enough of it now.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Hey, Joachim. Morning, Captain. Greetings from Morocco. Very nice. Bet it's warm down there. Okay, nose move steering disc, so we're still waiting for GSX, presumably. Yes, we are.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Good.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Right, APU is off. Predictive wind shear auto. Let's do flaps 3, because for some reason it wants us to do flaps 3 today. And I don't really know why it wants us to do that. But whatever. Good, just the cabin to go then. No, I don't use Active Sky. I did see it going around. I did wonder about it. Getting some voice clipping. Oh dear. That's a new one. I am using NVIDIA Broadcast on my mic, so maybe that's why. What's the point of paying for GSX apart from pushback tool? What does it do? It does things like loads passengers, loads cargo, that does refueling. So if you want to spend all your time outside looking at it doing stuff, it does make it a more realistic experience. But yeah, beyond that, I must admit I am starting to wonder the same thing myself. Alright, flight directors are on. Everything's good. Bristol traffic, Air Knot 121, stand 25, taxiing to runway 09. Alright, brakes off. Nice and gloomy here at Bristol this morning. Love to see it. Have you tried Phoenix to GSX? No. Thomas, good morning. Thomas, I can't remember if I already just said good morning to you or if I didn't. Yeah, I was going to say, Wessam, the Phoenix now, you can literally turn on the beacon light and it will do a pushback for you. And on the EFB, when you do your weights, you select load plane, there's an option for GSX, and that basically brings GSX into life. And it loads the plane for you in real time and has GSX kind of do all the stuff as it should be doing it. It's very cool. What plane is this? I just started flying myself and received my yoke and stuff, but I forgot my rudders. Love the Cessna plane. This is the Phoenix Airbus A320, so it's a paid for add-on. Thoroughly worth it in my opinion. And there's an expansion coming out soon to include the A321 and 319, so we're going to have a good bunch of high quality Airbus options very soon. The bus is going to be looking really strong soon, isn't it? Because we're going to have the A330 from Mini Builds in Flight Sim 24. We're going to have the A330 from Aerosoft whenever they release that. We're going to have the A350 from Mini Builds, A380 from Fly-by-Wire at some point, hopefully. We're going to have the 319, 320, 321 from Phoenix. We've got the Fly-by-Wire 320 Neo, and we've got the Builds A320 Neo. It's like we're being well looked after at the moment. Very, very well looked after on the bus front. How much will the expansion be? I heard, I can't remember exactly, but I don't know. I've got 40 quid in my head. Don't quote me on that though. There we go, right. Just checking nothing's on final. Bristol traffic out at 121, lining up runway 09er, Bristol traffic. Help if I was watching where I was going. Yeah, so the CEO is coming from Indie Builds in Microsoft Flight Sim 24, and I believe also the Aerosoft one's going to include it as well. There we go, there's a speed bump in Bristol. Bristol bounce, as they call it. Let's get that transponder on because Lovely. Okay. Shall we go to Nantes? Let's do it, shall we? Do a flex takeoff. A bit of right rudder required here. Gear up.
Speed, speed, speed.
Let's give a toga then, shall we?
Speed, speed.
Didn't like that flaps 3, did it? That was interesting. It did feel like we were using up a lot of the runway there, but we were using a flex takeoff. Leave us back into climb. Alright, let's make our U-turn. Bristol traffic, Air 121, airborne 3,500 feet. Bristol traffic. Yeah, I think that flex takeoff was a mistake in hindsight. Or maybe the flaps 3 also, but it didn't tell me to do that, so I'm surprised that it didn't work in our favour. I usually tend to trust the aircraft quite a lot in that regard. There's 6,000 feet coming up. Very good. Alright. That's quite enough of that. Let's get the autopilot on so I can pay attention to what you're doing. Chrono button basically just starts a clock. So I've got to expose it as you like. It's down here that you can see it's counting away. Don't think there's much online today in terms of ATC. Yeah, pretty much nothing at all so far on our route. Yes, Alex, we're on VATSIM. Can you give us a full setup, room tour, and key maps, custom layouts, if any? I did a room tour a little while ago. I say a little while ago, quite a long while ago now, and it really didn't do very well. The video started out super strong. I was like, oh yeah, here we go. We're on to a winner here. This video is going to do great. And then it just stopped. I was like, oh, okay. That's fair enough then, I guess. But there has been a few changes since then. So part of me wonders whether we could do another one. Maybe we could. Is the Phoenix good? I very much enjoy the Phoenix, yeah. Yeah. What I'm going to do, Fence, is wait until we push through. So, at the moment we're locked at 6,000 until we get to the end of our SID. If I were to... See, we've got these constraints here. So this next constraint we need to be above 3,500. We are. This next one above 5,500. We are. And then finally, this one just coming into view here, the Exmoor waypoint, we have to be at 6,000 exactly. If I was to go from 1015 to standard now, the plane could think it's in a very different area, or altitude rather. Oh, VATSIM's yelling. Oh, who's that? Someone just messaged me saying, is it the one and only? Goodness gracious, I've got a reputation. I don't know what for. That's what worries me. What have I got the reputation for? It's you, Alex. So I'm kind of intrigued. There's quite a few of you in the vertical stream at the moment. Are you all like enjoying that? Because there is a horizontal one, like a regular one. Yeah, there you go, Thomas. So that's the plan. Once we start climbing, once we get past, let me just show you again, 6,000 at Exmoor. So once we pass Exmoor, we're going to start climbing. I've got 330 in the window, so the plane is not taking us beyond 6 at the moment because it knows that we're not allowed to still at 6,000. But once we go past this, it will start climbing. Pretty much at that moment, I will then flick us into standard pressure. Yeah, there's a horizontal one. Just go to the channel. I really feel like YouTube need to do it so that if you like watching on your phone in vertical and then you turn your phone landscape, it just switches you between, just like TikTok does. It's one of the very few things that TikTok does well, just in general. Right. Sorry, I'm struggling to keep up the chat here. Bear with me a minute. Let me look at the messages. Is Phoenix good? We've said that one up. Yes, it is. Transition altitude. Marnix in the vertical says, what's the transition altitude set in your FMS? I've got it set to 6,000 feet. And that is due to the SID coming out of Bristol. So as we pass 6,000, as we climb out the constraint at Exmoor, we'll go to standard. Because if I were to do it now, the plane might think it's at like 5,500 feet and it'll just freak it out. Is Air not a virtual airline? Yes, it is. Yeah, you can join us on New Sky, if that is your thing. How bad is it running 3 streams at once? It's okay. I'm using the new ATOM multi-stream plugin for OBS. And it's quite clever in that if you have, say you're streaming to Twitch at 6,000 megabits per second, that is one encoder session. If you then want to stream to another service, you can say to it, stream to that service, but don't do a second lot of encoding. Use the same encoder as Twitch, so you're not doubling up on all your encoding every time. What did you do to get a virtual airline? I've just signed up for New Sky. New Sky is a platform where you can run a virtual airline, so... I saw Harris did a video, Lanky, although I feel like I was mostly up to speed on it. Is New Sky free? Yes, it is. I don't know how long it will remain free for airline owners, because there's a heck of a lot of work that goes into it. No doubt it costs the developer quite a lot of money to host it all and manage it all and maintain it all. So I anticipate there'll probably come a time There'll be a time where I'll have to pay something. There we go. Right, let's go to standard pressure, shall we? Yeah, so it will obviously take bandwidth, but it's the encoding that I worry about. I do have a separate streaming PC, so I don't worry about it too much. But even with that, you can, if you have a encode section for like your recording, your YouTube stream, your Twitch, your vertical, even with just a dedicated PC, you can max that out very, very quickly if you're not careful. I would normally enable approach mode when I'm on turning on to final, as a rule. What's the advantage of a virtual airline? There's no real advantage. It's just if you want to, if you're into that, really. Like some people just aren't. They just want to fly around, do their own thing, and that's fine. I would say the advantage is that it gives you a reason to fly, and it, rather than, and I don't know about you guys, but I do this a lot. Like I'll just kind of sit here and be like, where do I fly? I don't know what to do. You get paralysed by choice, whereas with a virtual airline, it's like, hey, we need you to fly this route. So it's like, okay, I'll do that. And it's done, you know? Yeah, VATSIM, you can sync them. I've got mine synced. I don't know if you noticed, but I did sort of just check over to the first officer's side after I went to standard, just to check that I actually had it working. If you're in the middle of the flight and want to do an emergency landing, then how do you set up the MCDU? Never actually done it. The PC has left the building. Oh no. How do you move the camera? So I'm holding my right click button and just looking around, dragging the mouse around. Or you can use a Tobii eye tracker. So if I were to enable that, I have one here. There we go. So now I'm using my eyes and just looking around. So now I'm looking at the PFD. Now let's look at the middle screens. I'll now look at where it says 33,000 feet. Let's look up to the lights. And I'll look down at the throttles. It's like a blend of your head and your eye moving stuff around. Very clever. What does Airbus mean when they say the side stick controls roll rates? Wouldn't you do the exact same thing if you held it in position? That's weird, Kurt. I don't know what to say to that. You got booted for not flying enough, commentator. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't. I don't think I'd ever boot anyone. But I barely fly enough, so it'd be a bit hypocritical if I were to boot other people while I'm only managing to get one or two in myself a week. risk of messing everything up, I'm going to turn on my Xbox controller here a minute, and it's going to come up with that annoying screen, being like, do you want to keep default? I say, yes I do, go away. We're going to see if we can go on a little wander and set up my camera views, because I've just installed a new SSD. Right, let me get out of here. See if we can set up some custom views. Oh no. What do we think for like an engine view, something like that? See if we can get a view. That'll do. Let's go to the other side. Let's go to our engine. Go to the other side. I'm sure this is all very thrilling for you all. There we go. Anybody want a coffee from the galley while we're out here? Let's get a nice one of those sorts of views. And then one of these. Oh, I bet they will have a... Jolly good. Right. So now if I do Alt 2, get there, Alt 3, Alt 4, 5, 6, 7, 0. Happy days. Thank you for bearing with me while I do all that. How much did my setup cost? Fisher Gamer. Oh, that's a hard question because it was all kind of done in bits, really. Yeah, other people are saying my mic's cracking. That's a bit weird. Let me check NVIDIA broadcast a minute. I have a sneaky suspicion that I know what it is. How's about that? Is that any better? Let me know if that's better or worse or anything. So my CPU usage is only at 12% according to ABS. If I check in at Windows, yeah, okay, I think it probably is CPU usage. Damn it. I'll tell you what, let's do an experiment because Twitch is doing literally nothing. Let's turn off Twitch. And then tell me if it gets any better. Okay, Twitch is now gone. And Alex has just literally said hello in the chat. I think what it is, it's because I'm using my processor to encode to Twitch. And obviously when I move around, like when you're doing this, that puts a higher encoding load on the system because the picture's moving. So I think that's probably, yeah, I think probably it's the CPU maxing out. What to do? Yeah, maybe we just lose Twitch going forward then. Maybe I need to get a more powerful CPU. It never ends, does it? It never ends. Right, how are we looking anyway? How are we looking? Okay, so top of climb is here, top of descent is there. So we've got a little while at our top of our cruise. Who's that messaging on VATSIM? How's the mic now? Is it a bit better? I'm hoping it is, because now my performance, my CPU usage has gone from like 80% down to 40. So I'm hoping that gives us what we need for NVIDIA Broadcast to run okay. Much better? Okay. Well, I think it's fair to say that YouTube Vertical has been more useful to us than Twitch. So if I have to lose something, it's probably going to be that, isn't it? I suppose I could set my main encoder for Twitch and then use that same encoder for YouTube, but then that would mean YouTube gets lesser quality, and the whole point of YouTube is that you can stream in higher quality and higher resolution. So I'm at 1440p 25 megabits for YouTube, whereas Twitch is like 1080 60 at 6000 megabits, which is not good by comparison. I don't know. isn't the map working? There we go. Now the map's working. You can all hopefully... There we go. Happy days. Right, that is top of climb. It wants our destination data now, of course it does. Good, let's do our arrival information then. Oh yeah, Wessam, the 777's awesome. There's no two ways about it, it's just like, it's brilliant, isn't it? Oops. Alrighty. So, 290 and 7 for the wind. Temperature on the ground is 22.1015. Now let's get some charts. My chart's gone. There we go. Decision height is 273 for our minimums. Flaps full 134 plus 5 139. Good. Happy days. Morning, Fady. Engine sound disappointed you, Wesson, did it? Yeah, I know a lot of people said that. But that being said, I've never been in the cockpit of a real one anyway, so I don't know how real that is or how real it isn't. Morning, Tony. As in, you're going to fly the beast, or I'm flying the beast? I don't know, Wessam, unless I've been in the cockpit while one's been in cruise, and I'm not really sure I'm in a position to comment. What did you find the most difficult when going from Boeing to Airbus? I have the Wing Airbus Sidestick on pre-order, and so far I've only flown Boeing on my yoke. It was actually the other way round. I spent so much time in the fly-by-wire to start with, and then when the 737 came out, I thought, well, I better get it, because, you know, I'm trying to work on the channel and stuff. And I was like, oh my word, this is tricky. Where do you set TCAS to below? Oh, there. Embarrassing. I think you solved it. I have solved my issue. Over aggressive CPU overclock. Eased off a bit. So far, so good. If you want, Wasp, you can always spawn at Nantes and then we can fly back. Because I'm not going to be long. I'm almost at top of descent. What plane are you talking about, Tony? The Airbus? Where are we flying to? We're flying to Nantes in France. Not a very long flight at all, is it? Too late now taxiing at Bristol. Fair enough. Well, by the time we've turned around, you might well be here. It's really not very far. The Phoenix, yeah, you are talking about the Phoenix. Yeah, I've got to be honest, I struggle in the Phoenix a lot. I feel like if we get a good landing out of the Phoenix, I've done really well. You've been there a few times, or I'm actually going there next week, hence we're doing the flight. I thought it would be a bit interesting to give it a go. Alright, top of descent is rapidly approaching. So the LNAV and the VNAV, if you right click on these, so you see you've got a little dot there, that means the plane is in managed. That's the equivalent of LNAV. Whereas altitude, so I'm going to bring us down to say, I don't know what the minimum is before we land. 7,000, 4.5, 3, let's call it 3. So go down to 3. That little line there on the ND is our top of descent marker. So now if we right click, or click and then right click, no, just right click. So you got the dot, that now puts it into manage, which is effectively VNAV. How is the standard Airbus A320neo included in the simulator? So there's two versions of it now, believe it or not. There's the one that came with it when the sim came out, and there's also another one by Inibuilds. The Inibuilds one isn't bad. I flew it to Belfast on a stream a little while ago. I thought it was pretty good. Had a little bug with the radio navigation issue, which I'm led to believe isn't just a me thing, it's a wider issue. But yeah, I thought it was alright. Where do I get, like, wind forecast on this thing? Right. In it. Ah, wind. Thank you. So go into wind, but there's nothing in wind beyond what I already have. Okay, well that'll do for now. The plane's on profile anyway, so that's all good. We're all good. Okay, so transition altitude is 5,000 feet. Missed approach, climb straight ahead to 1,300 feet. Then climbing turn left to 4,000 feet. On to 301 degrees to the MTNDB, or as directed. Do not turn before passing that. Which sky tool do I use? None at all. This is all default. Oh, whoops! I just hit the escape key. No more Sim Toolkit Pro. But we're still using it. I use it for the overlays. Here we go, so Godin is the name of our star. Yeah, so you can see here, this is our plan. Here's the airfield, out here, around, back in. No problem. So 35 minutes and we're basically here, aren't we? Such a short flight. Good day, Ethan. Yeah, Z, I think we're going to go back. I say Z, Wessam. Can't cope with all your different usernames. Yeah, we'll do the return. Get on the ground, I'll go and grab a coffee, and then we'll get ourselves back. It is the Phoenix indeed, yeah. Just finished a flight Gatwick to Edinburgh and then Stansted to LEMH. Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Where's that? MH. Is that Madrid? No. Menorca, thank you. Have you seen this trend of like all these people going on long haul flights and just basically staring at the map in front of them? Like no, some of them like don't even eat, they don't have any movies, they don't have any music, they just sit there and they stare at a screen for like 12 hours. Madness. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. This is bizarre to me, the whole thing. Like, never once have I thought, you know what would be a great idea? Ah. How much was my Boeing add-ons for the TCA Quadrant? Oh, the Airbus add-ons, you mean? I think they were about... Ooh. I think I got them... They went on sale. I think about like 80 or 90 pounds. Yeah, 80 or 90 for the spoiler and the flaps, that's it, yeah. I think. It's a tricky one, Ethan. I feel like every time someone says something like that, I don't really have any grounds to agree or disagree because I've never flown a real one. So I don't know. I really don't know. All right, Chelsea. I personally like flying the Phoenix. I find it a challenge and I find the systems to be more complete. I think any which way you slice it, Phoenix, fly-by-wire, it's not a real one, is it? So sometimes I think maybe we just need to calm down a little bit. Gavi says I'm a pilot. Hi, VATSIM noob. What other platforms do I stream? Well, we were streaming on Twitch earlier, but the extra encoding load it puts on my system was causing my mic to crackle, so I've just turned it off. I've done my own throttle mod, Chelsea. I think we spoke about it a couple of streams ago. Alright, 10,000 feet. Come on. You supplied the 320 for 9 years, now you're on the 777. It's a beast, but you do miss the Airbus ergonomics. Yeah, I imagine. I bet you really miss that pull-out table, right? I was thinking the other day, I was watching a video of like, and this is from years ago, it was one of these like old school British Airways from like the early 90s, following some captains on a flight. And they got brought in some lunch, and it was just on like a little tray. And they're eating it off their laps, and I kind of thought like there's like cups of coffee in there, like how like resistant is all of this stuff to like a coffee getting spilt over it? Because all it would take is like, you know, the tray to go a bit wobbly and like a cup of tea to go everywhere. That was my first thought as soon as I saw them like handing food around like that. Yeah, it was just the way the flight attendant came in and literally like kind of passed the tray, which was like had a plate of food on it, it had like a cup and stuff on it. It went right over here, obviously to the captain. And I just thought, God, if that spilt, it'd be panic stations, wouldn't it? Right, I need to start paying a bit of attention now, don't I? Rather than wittering on about nonsense. 210, 190, 184, 139. Cool. There was indeed a ping, Tricky. Sorry, mate, you can't pin that one on me. Fast liquids over the outer shoulder. Okay, that would make sense. I mean, this video was well old, so maybe... Oh, it doesn't matter, Tricky, you're here now. No, I'm using NVIDIA Frame Gen at the moment, Chelsea. Taipan, I'm not sure if you're talking to me or to Marnix, but no, I don't. I'm not a pilot. Yeah, landing in a minute, Tricky. Yeah, I saw they've gone to 4x on the lossless scaling. Yeah, flying back to Bristol, Tricky. Wasp is on his way down, allegedly. He had a crash. This is the Airbus A320 United. There you go, not far now. Have a pilot voice. Well, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, local pressure set. Oh, blimey. I didn't mean to do that. Nantes traffic Air 121, turning base for runway 03 ILS. Speed 180, or 190 I should say. Yes, there is a video. Just scroll back, it's quite a recent one, so just scroll back through, you'll find it. Mouse stopped working then, that was alarming. Let's go speed 180. Okay, so on the speed brakes. So why am I getting an ILS flashing up there? Speed. Anyway, let's enable our approach mode. Oh, it already is in approach mode. There it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's been a minute since I've flown this one. It's amazing what you forget when you don't do it. Let's go final approach speed. Alright, let's crank up the volume so we can hear.
2,500.
Go around altitude set of 1,300, or initial go around altitude I should say. Nantes traffic out at 121 on a 5 mile final, runway 03 Nantes traffic. already. It is worrying how you forget little things like that, like the LS button. I was just like, I expected that to have been done by default. Yay, my controls. So we're just running default scenery on this one. So curious to see. Well, just one lever asymmetrical then. I think I was pulling the throttles a bit. I'm going to take my hand off a bit temporarily because they're in the climb gate. I think I'm upsetting them. And that wind, flipping heck.
500. 400. 300. 100 above. Minimum 200.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
And down. Oh, that is lots of right rudder then. Lots of right rudder. Lots of right rudder then. Wow. Still not bad. 272 feet per minute. Can't grumble at that. Can't grumble at that at all. Okay, time for some eye tracker time now we're on the ground. Nantes traffic, air not 121, runway 03 vacated. Nantes traffic. Well, I'm not technically vacated yet, am I? Because I'm not past this line, but you get the point. Tricky, is that you over there? Alright, let's get our APU on. And then we'll try and get ourselves into a stand over here. We'll go for stand... What's this one here? 2A. Let's just go for number 3, shall we? Spin ourselves in. Alright, eye tracker off, now we're on the straight and narrow. How's the parking? Not quite there, is it? Yeah, now we do it. Alright, parking brake on. APU is now available. And we are down. Oh, Thomas, thank you for the 2, my friend. Thank you. Should have turned landing lights off when we came off. Never mind. And the strobes. Ah, right. Let's close the new Sky flight. Here we got perfect 10. Nice. We made £8,500 for the virtual airline there, so that's not so bad, is it? Right, I'm going to get us deboarding with GSX.
Boarding requested.
Oh, God. Now we've got 2 jetways. Oh, man. Just like... Why did it do this? Ugh. Alright. I am going to leave you with some nice views of the plane unloading. I'm going to go make a quick coffee, then we'll head back to Bristol. So you guys just chill out for a minute. I'll be back.
Pilots boarding starting. Crew boarding starting. Your crew has boarded. Passengers boarding starting.
Pilot is back. Ah, right. I now have coffee and we are ready to do our return flight back. So, I need to make a flight plan real quick. I imagine most people have gone by now. Can't blame them. Leave the stream unattended for that long. Alright. Let's have a look at what is... Oh, GSX, will you shut up? Open the cargo doors. I thought it should do it as well, but... Oh, I don't know, GSX, honestly, it's just like... Whatever. Don't care anymore. What time should we go? Wasp, how are you getting on? Ah, there we go. Thank you, Wasp.
The boarding requested.
I was too much in a rush for my coffee, wasn't I? There they go. I was pretty happy with that landing though. Cheers for all the tips there, Marnix. I do appreciate you. So the plan is runway 21 out of Nantes and then back in on 09 into Bristol, which means we get to deal with the Bristol bounce. So that'd be fun. I mean, Wasp, to be honest, we may be half an hour around here anyway, so it may work out. You need to put your foot down. Ignore me, I'm just doing a flight on my laptop, a flight plan on Sydney. If I refile a new flight plan on VATSIM with the same call sign as before, that's not the call sign, is it? Well, we'll find out. Okay. Should I turn fuel pumps off if we're going to be refueling? Probably should, right? Go for ground power. Turn off the APU. Jolly good. Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? Can leave on and do the APU. Oh, okay. Well, turn it back on. Right, what am I doing? Let's get the new flight plan in. Import next flight. go. LFRS back to EGGD, that's good. Let's load the aircraft with GSX. Has it not deboarded anyone? What is it doing? What is it doing? Let's try again. There we go. Alright, we're getting there. Good. Let's... I always feel weird when we're doing a turnaround, because I always do things from a cold and dark. Okay, AOC, flight plan init. Init data request, so hopefully these two will swap. Yes, they have, that's good. Into init, init request. Flight number X-ray November Oscar 121. Flight level 300. Cost index of 18. Jolly good. What, didn't you know, Matthew? Oh, right, yeah, the ATSU thing. Yeah, yeah. Gotcha. You know, if we're lucky, we might get to see Wasp land. No pressure, Wasp. Okay, QNH is unchanged, I believe. Yeah, 1015. So let's just look at our charts over here. We'll unload our flight from Bristol and we'll import a new one from Simbrief. There it is, LFRS to EGGD. So we're using the Boney 4 Sierra arrival and shall we do final approach into Bristol. No messing around. No mucking around. A little bit concerned about runway 09 because it's got that speed hump in it, hasn't it? The Bristol bounce. Now, talking to Andy in the chat a while ago, who is a Airbus pilot out of Bristol, he said that the general wisdom is to land after that. So we'll see if we can manage that. Normally I end up landing into 27 into Bristol, which is actually quite easy because if you overflare and you float a little bit, doesn't really matter because the runway will come up and meet you. So I always do like that runway. It's almost like a bit of a get-out clause in a lot of ways. So let's do our departure, departing from runway 21 using the Boney for Sierra. Insert that. Then into Bristol, we're going to use ILS 09 on the that one. And no buyers. Insert. Okie doke. Let's have a quick look. Click through. That's all looking good. Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Tricky, are you on the ground here at Nantes? Is that you over there? I can see a FedEx tail. That's got Tricky written all over it. Cheers, Thomas. Thanks for the 2 earlier as well. I really do appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Good, so the route looks good. How are we doing with loading? We're getting there, aren't we? Not entirely sure what GSX is up to, mine, but just joined. How's it going? Not bad, not bad. We've landed here in Nantes from Bristol, and we're about to fly back. No, not the A320neo. It's the A320 CEO from Phoenix. Good. Nearly there. Wasp isn't far out. I'm tracking your Wasp. See you yet? Probably not. Who's that? It's awful low. Maybe. Maybe. Oh man, this coffee is much needed. Now, is it me or is the cargo stop loading? Oh no. Not doing much, are they? What is going on? Are they busy with you, Tricky, are they? Oh, I'm getting fed up with this. Why have they done that? Yeah, you're not wrong. It is a bit of a mess, isn't it? Let's just reset everything. I'm just going to do it instantly because I can't be bothered with GSX and its annoyingness today. Load aircraft. Instant. Aircraft loaded. Perfect. Done. Send to MCDU. There we go, that's gone to init page B. That's good. Oh, love GSX. And we will do a flaps config 1.
Nantes traffic, Air 056, turning final for runway 03.
There he is.
We're watching.
Intently. Good. Right, let's send that to the MCDU. That's all good, that's all good, that's all good, that's all good, that's all good. Let's get these fuel pumps back on, shall we? Can't see him.
Miles to run.
Need my APU starting. Oh, that's a good point, actually, Matthew. Because I need to import the new flight plan. There you go. Okay, that's better then. That'll also mean the map will work too.
Nantes traffic, Air 056, ILS runway 03, 10 miles to run.
Aha, I can see some lights. Jolly good. Right, what am I forgetting? I feel like we're maybe forgetting a couple of things. So I figured on the way out we'd do flaps 1, because I don't really feel like that flaps 3 was particularly useful on the way out. If you wanted to fly back with us, Wasp, don't mind waiting. You're able to turn yourself around. You do notice it, don't you, at the default airports? I mean, this is not the same, is it? It's okay. But, yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Not quite the same. Alright, let's look at our charts while we're getting ourselves sorted. Transition altitude 5,000. Doesn't seem to be any altitude restrictions.
2 miles to run.
Only that 490. Here we go.
Quite crosswind.
Yeah, brace yourself. Here we go. Oh no. I think Wasp has got a GPU orbiting his plane. Was that 2 planes? What on earth is going on here? Why are there 2 planes? Wasp, I think you're being followed. Why is there 2 of you? That's weird. That's a new one. No weird errors from VATSIM. Oh, you made it, Wasp. That's the main thing. Oh, maybe that's what it is, Tricky. See if I can turn off like multiplayer or something. Where would I go for that? Traffic. Show multiplayer. Air traffic. Don't know. Groups only. Anyone know where I would go to turn that off? Multiplayer. Off. Try that. Where you see live weather. Oh, like up here you mean? Don't know. Oh, can't do it. Yeah, alright. Never mind, we'll ignore that for now. In main menu, but not general options. Alright, well, we'll look at that when the time is right. Wasp, do you need a minute to get turned around? Because I think, dare I say it, I think we're nearly ready to rock and roll. Can we just leave the strobe on auto the whole time then? Jolly good. Alright then. Let's do beacon light on. What are my PC specs? So I've got 5800 X3D, 4080 Super, 32 gig of DDR4, 3600 CL16 memory. Roughly. Come on, GSX. Do something. Oh, it's totally freaking out, isn't it? Oh, God. Yeah, I try and open it, it just closes. Okay. I will do a pushback from here then. Yeah, so I only get around 30 FPS, maybe 40 if I'm lucky, maybe 50 if I'm really lucky, but I limit it to 30, because a smooth 30 is way nicer than a jumpy up and down everywhere. And then I get NVIDIA to double it up for frame generation. Nantes traffic, Air Not 121 at stand 3, pushing back, facing north. Nantes traffic. Never done this before. See if this works. I wonder if GSX is going to, like, prevent us from actually doing it. Got a nasty feeling it's going to. You may be CPU limited, future. Not a lot is happening here, is it? How can I restart GSX? Alright, let's try and restart GSX. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder the same, Ethan. Oh, there we go. Right, disconnect the tug. Prepare for pushback and departure. That's such a pain, isn't it?
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Locking gear.
Here we go, nose right, tail, no wait, we want nose left, tail right, don't we?
Release parking brakes. Commencing push.
Alright, let's
All
go.
engines clear. Start at will.
Finally. Brilliant. Love to see it. You're right, 2020. Or RS, I think I'll call you for short.
To you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit routes,
Set parking brakes.
life jackets, and the brace.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
If you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on board, and crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown.
Set flaps to 1.
If the air supply fails, masks will drop. Oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Hold them.
Not sure I'd call that a pushback, but whatever.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
I'm locking gear.
Lead is ready to come off. APU can also go off. Right, let's check the charts because we are using runway 21. Allegedly.
Tow track disconnected, bypass pin removed.
Just
Left
have a
is
little-
clear, right is clear.
Little look. Yeah, it wants us the other way, doesn't it? 2-1 it is. Nantes traffic Air 121, taxiing to runway 21 via Romeo Delta, Romeo 4, Romeo 5, and Foxtrot. Nantes traffic. Get the old taxis on, shall we? And what else am I forgetting? I don't think I'm forgetting anything. Just need to actually taxi ourselves now to the taxiway. Try and watch the paintwork on Wasp's plane. It's tricky. Left is clear. Oops. Not looking where I'm going, looking at my other monitor. Oh, that's silly of me. Yeah, no traffic around, so that's good. Michael, how you doing? What's the specs? Oh man, it's limitless, to be honest with you. I'm on a 5800X3D and a 4080 Super. Let's get the lights on. Strobes on. Everything's on. Let's get out of there. Nantes traffic Air 121 lining up for departure runway 21 Nantes traffic. Yes, Michael, this is VATSIM. Albeit no ATC online currently. Now, dare I try another flex takeoff, because I don't feel like that went too well for us last time. Yeah, there's no ATC online at the moment, so we're just on Unicom, which basically means we fend for ourselves. Tricky and Wasp are pushing back, that's good. I'll get gone now, guys, give you guys a bit of separation. Nantes traffic Air 121, taking off runway 21. Nantes traffic. First little bit. We're flexing it today. Leave us back into climb. Nantes traffic Air 121 airborne, 2,000 feet. Nantes traffic. There we go, get the volume down now, we've done the takeoff. TikTok mode, yeah. If only they allowed us to do what TikTok does and have it so that you switch to the actual horizontal screen when you turn your phone or whatever, that'd be cool. Or if it detects your desktop device. That'd be the play.
traffic lining up behind FedEx aircraft on runway 21.
Which airline, Michael? We are in our own airline today. Okay, 10,000 feet coming up.
Traffic starting runway 21.
That's cool, Cyril. That's cool. Not something I've ever considered doing, Syrup. No, I'd kind of like to just fly on my own, really. Edmo, at the moment I use the Logitech ones. I think they're about £100-ish. They're okay. They're okay. I mean, they're okay for £100, put it that way. However, I do see some of the other ones that are out there, and I'm like, God, I'd really like some of those, but they're like so much money. Yeah, Michael, I mean, there is an A380, but it's just the skin of the A320. It's not what I would call a proper A380. Right, Adela. What about Aaron Rains? What about Aaron Rains? Rip says, I've been meaning to ask you, I've got the Boeing throttle quadrant. At first I had one, but I had this issue where the throttle 1 and 2 engines weren't synced. So I occasionally get it where like one lever will be in the climb gate and one won't if I accidentally sort of push one a bit further forward. But what I can do is if we go to menu, config, controls config, you can increase the null zone. So if I were to put like 6 in there, there you go. That gives me a little bit more wiggle room. Sim's looking good today, huh? Michael, when you said what about Aaron Rains, what did you mean? You mean that he's flown an A380 or something? Let the passengers out for a bit. No, sir. It's generally been all right. But then I'm on the Airbus throttle, so maybe there's a difference there. I don't know. Who knows? Not sure we're going to get such a good landing into Bristol. I've got a funny feeling it's not going to be quite as in our favour as Nantes was. curious, what do you prefer? Do you prefer a map view or do you prefer having like yoke cam on the whole flight? Hey, doing, Seb? Prefer yoke cam, do you? I mean, obviously during the cruise, like, we're not actually going to be doing anything, but I don't know. Oh, damn it, Waspy, I did the same now you say that. Oh, God. Never mind. Never mind. Voice volume's gone quiet. Oh. Oh, hang on. Is that better? I accidentally had my mic fader down a bit. Godwin, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Cruise tricky is 30,300. Oh, I can't believe I forgot New Sky as well. That's annoying. I'll tell you what, if we get 2 good landings, because I don't want to brag, but I kind of feel like that one into Nantes was pretty good by my standards, and I was pretty pleased with that. I don't know whether we're going to get it back into Bristol, because 09 is the trickier of the two, I would argue, into Bristol, because you've got that lump that you kind of got to avoid. So you've got to be quite careful landing after that, otherwise it'd be like hitting a speed bump. Like I say, Andy, who's in the stream sometimes, he flies out of, he said he flies out of Bristol in real life, or flies in and out of it. I don't know if he's based there or not. He says in general you try to land after the bump. So we'll try and do that. I'm not sure where the touchdown markers are relative to that bump. I think probably they're on it, if memory serves, but I could be wrong. But all of this depends on me having an awful lot of control over the plane, which in the Phoenix is sometimes something I lack. One thing I will say is that a couple of streams ago I did a landing with the yoke in the Phoenix and it felt really good. Now, I don't know whether that's just because the controls are a bit heavier and it gives you a bit more finesse. Maybe this is just a bit too light. I don't know. Don't know. Are the touchdown markers on the lump wasp? Do you remember? .74 tricky, I think. That's what we're at the moment. Where do I go? Yeah, 0.74. Right, Proto. How you doing? How's the flight been so far? Not bad. Not bad. It's a nice short little flight. We've only been in the air 15 minutes. Or 17 minutes. And we can already almost see the coast of England. Has it changed, Tricky, to 2.7? That's kind of good news. Let's swap it out then. Yeah, I thought it was runway 9. Surprised me that you said that. Good job I haven't changed anything. As you were. Is that Jersey down there? I think it is, isn't it? Where's Jersey Airport? That'll be it. So I'm doing the Adved arrival, Adver 1 Alpha, and I'm doing just a final. I'll show you my charts. That's the plan. That's the spirit, Tricky. Enter destination data. Comes around quick, doesn't it, on these short little hops? Certainly comes around quick. Arrival, Bristol 09, METAR 101 at 8, or 010 at 8 I should say. (14°) 1015. Whoops. And what is the 813 into Bristol for the minimums. (132) and 137 +5 for landing. Happy days. That'll do us. Yeah, Bristol wasn't... It looks alright from up here, doesn't it? But once you get down beneath the cloud, it gets pretty awful pretty quickly. Can't quite see the coast, although I imagine that cloud is probably a good indicator that it's coming up. What's that down there? Is that Guernsey? Because we've just passed Jersey, haven't we? That must be Guernsey. Did your sim sync with Garmin Pilot or 4Fly? Don't think so. I know, I've never tried. Flying to Bristol, Squid. Not long to go now. It's quite a short flight from France. In fact, top of descent probably isn't going to be that far off, is it? Yeah, about 50 miles, 45 miles. What's the plan for that? $2,500 is the limit, isn't it? That's fine. Can do that. Yeah, well, we're on VATSIM, Squid, but there's nothing online, so we're just chilling on our own. I can always speed up, Wasp, if you want. Okay, no worries. Oh, so it was Guernsey then. I always get confused. I think I'm going to have to get myself an iPad for out here. My call sign Godwin today is, well, it usually is the same one all the time, Airnaut 121. There we are. The top of descent is rapidly approaching, actually, isn't it? About 25 miles out. Make sure we've got the wind data input. There we go, wind data is in. Got a 15-inch USB monitor. Oh, is it touchscreen? Here's the coast. What I've done, I've ordered a USB-C to HDMI adapter from Belkin with power pass-through. Because I saw it on Amazon Warehouse. It should be like 40 quid normally, and it was going for like 11, so I quickly bought it. So if I do end up with a USB-C iPad or whatever, I can then get the whole output of the iPad screen and get that thrown into a streaming PC, so you can all see what I'm doing on the iPad in real time. That's the idea anyway. How well it's going to work remains to be seen. So it looks like there's only one plane over the whole of the West Country, so we should be okay. Top of descent is now 5 miles away, so we will get that in. There we go, down we go. Can you guys hear the plane okay? Because I feel like the stream is almost silent. Speed at the transition. So I got 220 at Adved, 197 at CF09, 182 at FF09, and that gives me 6 miles to land and get my speed down to 140. That seems like a bit fast to me. Hey, William. There's Dartmoor up ahead. That'd be Dartmoor. Would that be Bodmin over there? Yeah, I think I'm going to come out of... I mean, ideally I want to be at 160 by FF09. So I reckon I can go from Adved at 220 down to 180. So I've got 6 miles then between then and CF09. CF09 down from 180 to 160. Then down to final approach speed. And we should be in business, I reckon. That's my plan anyway. I'll start slowing down after Adved. Tricky. I'll follow the plane until Adved. So I'll be at 220 at Adved and 250 at Exmoor. Okay. I'll do 160 till 5. So my plan is Adved at 220. Then I'll be at 180 by CF09, 160 FF09. Then go to final approach speed at 5 miles. But yeah, I want to be at 160 by FF09 ideally. Then yeah, we'll go to final approach speed, which for me is 138. Try a flaps 3 config landing and find you have more control. Really? Give it a go. So if I go... I'm going to change that from here. Is there a way to change that? to give me a new VAT. On 3. Okay, 141. Alright, yeah, let's give that a go. Try it. And if it all goes wrong, I can blame you. I'll find the flap 3 config button on the overhead panel. Okay. This one. There you go. Yeah, that's me on VPilot. That was just somebody saying hello. Don't worry. No ATC. Right, just getting us to 250 knots for this waypoint. Okay, auto brake medium, let's get the landing system on. Whoa, stutters. 10,000 feet, near as damn it. I'll get my lights on now before I forget. Okay, let's get the speed brakes away. We're going to approach phase now. Yeah, it's alright, we'll go for medium. Not a problem. How's the plane volume fuel? Because honestly it feels so silent for me at the moment. That feels a bit better. Okay, still 1015. Yeah, QNH 1015. Okay, 230 knots. Let's get the first stage of flaps out. Go. It all helps. Right, let's get down to 180. For CF09. Bristol traffic, Air 121, flying from Adved to CF09 for the ILS approach, Bristol traffic. Okay, my hopes of slowing down to 180 haven't really gone too well, but at least Tricky will be happy. Right, let's get that speed down, then we can get our next little bit of flaps out. Okay, flaps 2. And flaps 3. Down to 160 we go. Speed brakes all the way. Beautiful. There we go. Bristol traffic, Air 121, established on the ILS runway 09, 12 miles to run.
Traffic, FedEx 57, 60 miles southwest, visual 09.
2,500.
Get out. That was not a 12-mile final, was it? Bristol traffic, Air 121, correction on a 5-mile final for runway 09, Bristol traffic. Alrighty. Everyone ready for the Bristol bounce? Looks like we've got a bit of a tailwind here. So far we can see absolutely nothing. I'm going to crank the volume up a bit for the landing. Oh, it's gloomy, isn't it? Yeah. Right, everybody strapped in.
1,000.
The Bristol bounce is almost upon us. There it is, I can see some lights.
Above. 400. Minimum.
Continue. Thank you, EasyJet, for waiting for us. Appreciate you.
200. 100.
Light slow.
40. 30. 20. Retard.
Bristol traffic air not 56
Oh, there's the
Alpha
bounce.
on a 12-mile final.
There's a bounce.
Bristol traffic 8 miles.
Oh. That was a hard one, wasn't it? Flip a deck. That wasn't so good. That was funny though. Goodness gracious.
56 Alpha. 3 to land, very close. All those traffic on the ground.
Oh man, that was funny. Bristol traffic air not 121 vacated 09er. Caution, crater in the runway.
How comes it hit the ground hard again?
Oh man, that was rough. That was rough. That was rough. I haven't done a nearly 600 feet per minute in a while. All right, let's turn in here. Get out of the way.
Bristol traffic 3 miles 09. Bristol traffic air not 56 Alpha 8 miles 09. Established ILS, Bristol traffic.
There we go, 50 minutes. Oh man, that was a rough landing. Oh, that was rough. That was very rough. Still, we're here, we made it. That's the main thing. Yeah, at least we landed. I mean, goodness gracious. Right, who's coming in now? Is Tricky landed already? Let's go do a bit of plane spotting, shall we? Whoops. Go on, Tricky. And Tricky's gone through the ground. Love to see it. That was probably smoother than what I did. Goodness gracious. What was your landing rate, Tricky?
Bristol traffic, Air 056 Alpha, 3 mile final, 09. Bristol traffic of 07.
Ah, that's what it was, Andy. Yeah, I flared far too late. Never mind, we had a good one in Nantes anyway, so 50-50. Can't have it all, can you? Just further proof that I need to keep at it with the Phoenix, because I gravitate towards the Boeing and then I just get rubbish at the Phoenix. And then I do it for a bit and then I go back to the Boeing. And then I get rubbish again. So it's like this constant cycle of me being rubbish and then being less rubbish and then going back to being more rubbish. If that makes sense. Ah, there he goes, that. To disable that multiplayer thing, save us getting 2 versions of the same plane. That's looking pretty nice, Wasp. That's looking nice. Oh yeah, that was alright, wasn't it? Ah, they still got his GPU connected. Incredible. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that was a fun afternoon, morning. Oh, that was a bit rubbish though, wasn't it? That's 600. That's nearly 600 feet per minute. That is definitely on the high end of being rubbish. Never mind. Here comes Wasp with his GPU still attached.
Bristol traffic, Air 056 Alpha, runway 09 vacated, expecting to stand 1.
There we go. Right, folks. I'm going to call it there. I've had a lovely time. Thank you all very much indeed. And I'm not sure when the next stream or video will be, actually. Just sort of thinking like what my plan is. But rest assured, there'll be more. Get yourself subbed. That's one thing to do. Then you won't miss it. Until next time, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed. Thanks, Tricky. Thanks, Wasp, for flying along. And I'll see you all next time.